Good afternoon and welcome to the next in the series of Successful Introvert Workshops. My name is Brian Johnson, the host, and it's really great to be here today. I hope you're enjoying some beautiful autumn sunshine. No, it isn't in London this afternoon. But firstly, a bit about me. I come from a background of 30 odd years in financial services, many of those struggling as an introvert to find the success I wanted. And the reason I started doing these sessions is just recognise that there's a lot of people who are like me struggling to find a way to be a success without changing who they are. And as an introvert, that's quite important. And I've been really on a journey over the last few years, changing the direction of what I do. As soon as I realised actually my passion was helping people find the success they wanted rather than doing the 9 to 5 I was. And being retrained as a coach and NLP practitioner, I really love seeing the difference it makes to people having these conversations. So, if you've got any comments, please feel free to add them in the chat, or do drop me a message afterwards. I'm always happy to help. So these sessions are really focused on helping you make small and meaningful changes to your life, so you as an introvert can find the success you want. The usual advice is just to be like the experts, speak up. But as we know, that doesn't really work, and we need to focus on something that actually does, because constantly speaking up is something that drains our energy. Anyone who will know me that there will be times where I just zone out. I need to recharge. My battery runs out, and it needs to be recharged. I can't spend hours and hours conversations because I just need that space. And recognizing the strengths I bring as an introvert is really something I'm focused on. Today we're really thinking about that concept of feeling noticed and valued. Naturally, as a quiet person, I'm just someone who really sit there and get on my stuff and ignore what's going on. I recognise actually some people just need to know what you're doing. They need you to communicate with them other than visually sitting there. And you're not there speaking up. You just become back to the background, that people don't find you. I'd often wonder why I was getting ignored and excluded from things, left out of events that are going on in the workplace. It's just because I wasn't engaging in the way I expected, and just really didn't notice what was going on. And the important part is really to start by actually thinking about those around us. Who actually does notice us? We're thinking about what difference this makes. It's easy to go, well, if I was more noticed. But actually, what do we mean by that? What do we really mean? What would it be like if everyone noticed what we're doing every second of the day? Is that really what you're looking for? I'm looking for, ooh, anyway, really like that. Oh, it's really great just then. Oh, can you just show me how you did that? Would you really want the micro attention? Everyone was noticing everything you did in the day. And really starting to think about this can be really helpful thing, because we can say things, oh, I wish I was noticed. Much noticing as my colleague over there. I mean, she's always, people commenting how well she's doing, engaging her in interesting projects. Actually, what is it you really want? What level of being noticed do you want? I'd really recommend spending some time thinking, because if you're like me, an introvert, I don't want to be the centre of attention. I don't want to really notice me. I'm happy to be valued and appreciated. People saying thank you. But actually, what is it I want? What that I'm aiming for about when I say I want to feel noticed? because this is the starting point. Taking that vague idea and adding some meat to the brain, just getting something that you can actually use and see what difference it's going to make when you are noticed in the way you want to be noticed. What's happening that's different? Does it mean you get the next promotion at work? Does it mean you getting invited to those social events you want to go to? What does it mean? You can actually, it's really useful just to bring up, create that image in here. And I see here, those eyes are just thinking of the image. What does that mean when I'm noticed? It's engaging with me differently. But what I want. I'm having a sense of attention, so I need, so when I'm thinking, no, I want to be noticed and appreciated, what level of notice and appreciation is it? That's in a minor thing, but we often are sitting here thinking, and life, and the grass is always green on the other side of the fence. We're looking at, oh, I wish I was like that, but listening through the consequences of if that really happened, would we be happy? Really notice generally in life, people chase after things, and think, oh, only, if only, and they get that if only, and it doesn't live up to expectation because they haven't thought about what it would be. So I ask myself, do I want constant social engagement? No. My wife often thinks I'm rude, but you know, sometimes at the end of the day, when I've had lots of conversations with people, I just don't want to speak. I don't have the energy. You get one or two words out. So you know, I don't want too much. I don't want too much social engagement with the social events, and I'm not going to be there talking. Why would I go and dance full? Because you know, I see it the way of recharging, being present and recharging, and that's what works for me. I may be a terrible dancer. I'm joking. I dance at social events because it makes everyone feel less self-conscious about their own dancing abilities, because they can always say, "Oh, I'm Brian at dancing." But that doesn't matter. So it's really that. But practical reason for doing that, I don't have to engage with other stuff. The conversation, I can reach out if I'm actually doing something different. This is really I know what difference I want to make. The clarity of outcome, what success looks like, is the key thing. Really spend some time thinking about it. It's only when we really know what we mean, write down that big chunky goal. I want to be noticed. When I'm noticed, this will happen. Really breaking down into when I'm noticed, this will happen. When I'm noticed, this will happen. When I'm noticed, this is happening. Actually, when and just building those pictures, those images, different relationships you have with people, the different interactions you have with people, and noticing. And as you think through those, you imagine those, you create a big image in your mind. You know, you can see what's going on, what people are wearing, the environment. You can smell, you can feel what's going on. Looking in the air. Imagine holding a cold, crisp pint. Any images that come into your mind, but that's the sort of thing that immediately comes to mind here. But that's really useful, just thinking that actually what is happening is different. This then allows us to think about what is image worthy we want to be. And then moving on and think about what's the smallest, minutest thing you could possibly do that would make the smallest possible difference in that situation. Where you are now, what could you do which is the smallest change? Smiling. making eye contact. These things are all important. Actually, can I go smaller than that? Maybe a smile is the smallest change you can make. The next step up. Thinking. And hi. Just think about what difference these small changes will make. It's very easy to get caught up in that. Massive changes and the world's changed. These massive changes are not always sustainable. Just finding the small steps. Let's really start with small steps and believing actually that the small steps, actually, how easy are they to do? The concept here is really actually taken 100 small steps, 1,000 small steps to get where we are now. Let's start taking 1,000 small steps to get back to where we want to be. Small steps are often easier because people barely register that they're there, but consciously they will notice a change. And this is really the thing. Small changes will be noticed. Someone never smiles at you and you start smiling at you. What's happened here? And says, hi, I've never really spoken to you before. What's happened here? Hi to security guard, or nothing points. Making eye contact with someone at the bus stop, acknowledging their existence. These small steps being noticed. It's easy to get into that routine that we don't actually notice anybody around us. They're just avoiding. Well, if you want to be noticed, you need to notice people. And let them know you've noticed them. Believing you can make the change, you can change. You've created the world you're in, you can create a different one. You're asking yourself, what can I do different? How much am I willing to invest in change? You can come up with a long list of excuses. Oh, well, I don't have energy to do it. Okay. And we're really thinking, what changes do you have the energy? When we're talking about micro changes, you have the energy to consistently make one micro change a week. Will you transform your life? You start moving forward? That's a big challenge here. I believe we can make those differences. It's working through a long list of excuses. Write down your excuses. Work through them one by one. What excuses do you have for not exploring what you can do, making changes? I won't smile because they might misconstrue it as something more than it is. But you just smiled. You misconstrue it, everyone who smiles at you. I just don't know where to start. Well, where could you start? Who could you start with? What one person would you start with? Who's the safest person you know to start with? Is it that stranger you regularly see at the bus stop every day? Is it the receptionist or the security guard? Where can you start? It will make a difference. Work through your excuses. The excuses you can think of bigger than the desire for change. Where do you want to be next year? What if that image we thought, you've been noticed, what if you were actually, that happened in the next year? How would you feel? Think about it. I've noticed more. Brings a smile to my face. You just think, actually, that's the way I want to be. I want to feel valued. I want to feel appreciated. I want people to see the difference I can make in their lives and others. And knowing that just gives me that energy inside, really make a change. This is the key. For instance, I always know the limit of my presentation abilities is around the 20 minutes mark is really where my energy starts to dissipate, run out, and go into that reserve battery and go, I need to pause. And I know that. I know when I get to that, but investing in change, I'm investing in doing it. 5 years ago, my presentation battery would have run out for 30 seconds. I thought, panic. Being a speech, it would have been written out line by line, giving me the confidence to do it. And what I found through practice is actually, I can talk for a longer time. I don't need the detailed note. Bullet points are more than enough to help me get through. I can take any point and just talk about it because I'm confident that what I talk about. That's really the lessons we are learning. So today, I hope you really learned something. It's really about it's starting about getting clarity of actually what you do and what the difference is. It's not with, well, I want to be different. What do you mean by different? You want to be noticed. What's going to happen when you are noticed? Who's going to benefit? How does that feel comfortable? What level of notice do you want? By who? When? Where? Noticing the small changes you can make. Finding the pace that works for you. What one small change are you going to make today? What one small change will you make tomorrow, next week? Write down a list. Give yourself this week, this is my plan. How will you know you're moving forward? Create that sense of actually, I know where I want to be, like closer. No, it's not necessarily a straight line, it's just finding the bump, riding the bumps upwards to where you want to be. I really do hope you found it useful today. I don't know, it's really interesting running through these sessions because never much I've prepared for. When I'm presenting live, these thoughts are racing through my mind. Actually, who do I want to build a better relationship? Who do I want to be more noticed by? And what am I going to do? I reckon as an introvert, I do revert to like, especially when I'm feeling tired and maybe it's stressed with things going on. And I'm consciously aware of I need to make those small micro changes to find the success I want, continue to work on them. I really do find it helpful to create those small micro things. I'll do this today. One small thing different. But I really hope it's been helpful today. You've learned something from this conversation. If you want to know more, please feel free to send me an email at brian@pauljohnson.com. You can send the QR code to book some time on a diary. That would be great. I'd really love to have a conversation, see how I can help you. You can invest in spending some time working with me, what that looks like. Today has been really focused on get notice at work. Next week we'll take it further, move on to that network. How do I network? I'd really love to see you. An area that it's been many years struggling with, and it's really great that actually learned so much, and I'm sharing some of that with you. If you'd like to know more, do reach out. I'm going to have a great weekend and enjoy the weather. I'm now going to recharge my batteries to walk around the block and move on to my next whiteboard. Have a great day.